Coming up, the clock is ticking. Time is running out for Congress to come up with a deal before the nation defaults on its debt.
And as if that wasn't gloomy enough, we still have cloud cover to contend with and lake effect rain showers. I'll have those details.
And a Hoosier family is awarded thousands of dollars after their teen was the victim of bullying.
16 Morning News continues right now.
From WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, this is 16 Morning News.
It is 6 a.m. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tricia Sloma. We are following breaking news at this hour. Police are at the scene of a possible armed home invasion at Park Jefferson Apartments on Jefferson Boulevard in South Bend. We're still awaiting further details. We do have a crew headed to the scene. Stay tuned to News Center 16 for the very latest throughout the morning. Well, efforts to prevent the U.S. from defaulting on its bills have fallen apart in Washington, and now we are less than 24 hours away from the debt deadline. If Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling today and allow the government to borrow more money, you could feel the impact. Tracy Potts is tracking the developments.
Religious leaders walked the halls of the Capitol praying for a solution.
The idea of default is wrong, and we shouldn't get anywhere close to it.
But we're there. At midnight tonight, the U.S. will not have enough money to pay its bills and won't be able to borrow more.
If this happens, the 2008 financial crisis will look like child's play.
That would be stupid. This would be stupid.
So this is all updated then?
Interest rates could skyrocket. Homes, cars, experts say everything could cost more. Fitch, one of the big credit ratings agencies, is warning of a possible downgrade. Negotiations on Capitol Hill fell apart after Tea Party conservatives insisted on dealing with health care.
This is a fundamentally flawed plan.
And now the question, can President Obama act without Congress to prevent a catastrophe?
If we believe that there's a state of emergency such that the greater good is in peril, then it makes sense that we should allow the president to declare a state of emergency to protect that greater good.
No votes for tonight. We'll see you in the morning.
Anxious moments in Washington and around the country with less than 24 hours to go. And it's not clear at this point if there might be any successful last-ditch efforts today. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden will meet behind closed doors with Treasury Secretary Jack Lew today inside the Oval Office. On to weather now. Meteorologist David Harker is keeping his eye on some cooler temperatures to our west. It's moving in here, huh?
It sure is, Tricia, and it's all because of the clear skies that you see behind me. Some places in the clear, other places mainly to the west and to the north of US 31. Still seeing a bit of warmer temperatures. You take a look, satellite and radar combination, those clear skies will eventually start to close up a little bit. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover, and the temperatures as well. We will be back in the middle 50s later today after a start of near 50 degrees off to the east. The temperatures, as Tricia had mentioned, in the lower and middle 40s. So we'll have to watch for it the rest of the daytime, and these conditions just won't get much better anytime soon. Middle 50s, they're holding steady throughout the remainder of the week, and even the chance of lake effect rain showers. No, it's not snow, lake effect rain showers.
All right, well, kids have different field trips going on. Pumpkin Patch is still a very popular place, little hay rides that the kids go on. The petting zoos, too. Are they going to get rained on today?
It really depends on where you are. Some places will see the chance of rain, but it's fall. We should see these conditions this time of the year. The kids, regardless, I'm sure they love it.
Yeah, well, wear that sweatshirt, maybe that jacket.
Good idea.
Right. Thanks a lot, David. It's now 6:03. Opening arguments begin today in the trial of an Indianapolis police officer accused in a fatal drunk driving crash. Lawyers in the trial of David Bissard finished selecting jurors yesterday. Bissard crashed his squad car into two motorcycles stopped at a traffic light on August 6, 2010. One man died, two others were seriously injured. Bissard faces 9 charges, including drunk driving and reckless homicide. His trial is being held in Fort Wayne due to pretrial publicity in Indianapolis. New this morning, a Hoosier family is getting $50,000 because of bullying. The jury awarded the damages in a civil trial against the South Madison Community School District that's northeast of Indianapolis. Court documents say the then 15-year-old student arrived at Pendleton Heights High School in 2008 to find altered, sexually suggestive photos of her posted around the school. The victim and her family claimed the school was negligent in their handling of the situation and that they didn't offer her proper counseling. The state of Michigan is fighting back against the company responsible for a glitch in the food stamp system over the weekend. Michigan is refusing to pay Xerox 15% of the October bill because of a technical problem which prevented folks from using their electronic cards for a brief period on Saturday. If this month's bill is anything like September's, that would mean Xerox would lose out on $80,000 from Michigan's food stamp program. New this morning, you can now look at a campsite at Michigan State Parks before reserving it. Beginning on November 3rd, people who use the DNR's online system will be able to see at least one photo of each campsite before booking. The pictures will show the location of the fire pit, the electrical box, and other features. While fall-time activity has returned to Elkhart and your participation will help local residents with disabilities, the bowling lanes are open at Linton's Enchanted Gardens for just $2. You can bowl until your pumpkin bursts, and all of the proceeds go to help ADEC, a local organization that helps people living with disabilities. James Ray has Down syndrome, and ADEC helps him find employment, living arrangements, and even social activities.
I like ADEC.
Yeah, why do you like ADEC?
ADEC's my favorite job. We go out to eat, out to movies.
Yeah. And ADEC helps you do that too?
Yes.
I will have much more on James' story tonight just before 6. Pumpkin bowling is available until the end of the month at Linton's. And while you're there, the kids can check out the nearby maze. For hours, location, and more details from Linton's, go to our website and click on the Big Red Bar. Our photographer Brandon had so much fun in that maze. It was a good time.
I was going to say, did he go in the maze or did he join you for bowling?
He sure did. He was in the maze. I kind of got beat at bowling. But James is really good, and you'll see that coming up tonight just before 6.
That's right.
Coming up this morning, an effort to reduce Michiana's feral cat population is going on today. Kate will have much more on that in our City by City report.
Plus, women in Congress. Take a look at their role during the shutdown and debt ceiling talks and why some may say they're better at reaching a compromise than their male colleagues. We'll have those details and your Storm Team 16 forecast after the break.
You're watching WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, 16 Morning News. Tracking severe weather right down to where you live. Storm Team 16 is your weather authority.
Each day we continue to get new pictures on meteorologist David Harker. That's my Facebook page, and this one is no exception. If you remember yesterday when we were seeing the oranges and pinks and light blues in the atmosphere, all those clouds, got a lot of pictures, whether it be to my Facebook page as well as WNDU's Facebook page. This one, I love it. I got to tell you, this one is from Connie. She's from Osceola. Just look at the gorgeous colors in this photo. We may not see these same colors today, but we certainly will see cooler temperatures to contend with. Let's talk about the conditions outside. 16 Doppler max. Don't have to worry about rain showers at this point, but they will be a lake effect variety a little bit later today. Lake effect rain showers, just like lake effect snow showers, they come off of the lake in bands, and this because it's warmer is why it's called rain rather than the snowflakes that you usually see during the winter months. And we don't have to worry about snow showers anytime soon in this forecast. A sigh of relief. Temperatures around the lakeshore, Michigan City, all the way up to Benton Harbor. A big temperature difference because of some clearing skies. Out in parts of western Indiana, that's where temperatures are just a little bit cooler than the rest of us that are blanketed with the cloudy skies at this point. 16 Future Track is going to show that as well. We do have lake effect rain showers that will be enhanced throughout the remainder of the day. You see those small bands of green making their way into parts of western Michigan. That's what we're talking about when we mention lake effect rain showers. Now, one cold front has already made its way through, so that's drawing in a lot of colder air into Michiana. It's a second cold front that will bring in yet more cold air. High temperatures a little bit later this week will be in the lower end middle 50s. It will just take a little bit of time for this cold front to finally get here. Until it does, we'll be blanketed with cloud cover and more lake effect rain showers to contend with the rest of the week. Let's talk about your forecast for the daytime today. 56 degrees. You may be varying by a degree or two in your area, but we're still going to add in a rain shower or two. Prepare for it with the umbrella as you head on out or send the kids off with an umbrella to school this morning. Take a look at the 7-day planning forecast. We are in the yellow today. The middle 50-degree temperatures is just going to be chilly, but the chance of rain showers while we're in the yellow, that will continue on Thursday as well. Yellow category threat of a lake effect rain shower or two. Not warming up anytime soon. That southerly wind won't actually be back in Michiana for quite some time as cold front after cold front push through the area. Be prepared yet again for another green day on Friday. At least we have a silver lining, something to look forward to into the weekend. We go cold temperatures. Notre Dame USC upper 40s for game time. Anybody who plans on tailgating still on the cool side. The sweater, the Snuggie, whatever to keep warm, a great idea.
Well, I think Friday night's looking really good for high school football games. I'm still on the chilly side, but my goodness, we could have downpours or, you know, snow showers in this type of year.
It could be a lot worse. There may be an isolated shower before game time, but the rest of us, we should still be dry.
Sounds good. Well, we know that so many communities have a lot of different news headlines that sometimes go unnoticed. So we have a new segment here on 16 Morning News called City by City. So we send it over to Kate Chappell with a look at this morning's City by City report. Kate?
Thanks a lot, Tricia. This morning we are going to start in Mishawaka, where former Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels will be in town. The now Purdue University president will talk about Purdue Moves. That includes 10 initiatives focused on the university's future. Daniels will speak at a breakfast at the Riverside Terrace. Over in Dowagiac, time is running out for a new organization to raise money for a production of Phantom of the Opera. According to our partners at WSJM, Downstate Left Musicals only has a few days left to raise $11,000 in an online Kickstarter campaign. Phantom of the Opera will be on the stage this weekend at Southwestern Michigan College and includes students from all over the Tri-County area. Finally, over in Granger, today marks the second annual Get Your Fix Day. It's an effort to reduce the population of Michiana's free-roaming cats. Kreider's Veterinary Clinic has partnered with the Meow Mission to offer 40 free-roaming cats a spray-neuter surgery and rabies vaccination for just $15. They say by stopping the breeding cycle, fewer cats will enter our shelters, where 75% of them are euthanized. That's your City by City report. I'll be back with another check of what's happening near you at 6:40. Tricia, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Kate. Well, it is the 16th of October, time for our 16 Buddy Check. Reminder, we are reminding you to do a self-breast exam. Maybe get a mammogram if it's time. Remind your friends to do this too. Both are important steps to fight breast cancer. 16 Buddy Check is sponsored by the Women's Task Force of St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. And for more information, including how to sign up for those monthly email reminders, go to WNDU.com/16BuddyCheck. Well, some say women in Congress are able to put their differences aside and work together on tough issues, more so than their male counterparts. In fact, Senator Susan Collins is credited with helping craft the latest Senate budget plan by working with a bipartisan group of lawmakers. Athena Jones looks at how they were able to come together despite the volatility of the issues and the difference of opinions.
Will the women of the Senate save the day? Well, they've certainly been trying to. A plan by Republican Senator Susan Collins formed the basis of a key proposal to reopen the government and avoid a first-ever default on the U.S. debt. While that plan's prospects may now be uncertain, Senate women are still front and center. Collins worked with a bipartisan group of senators, men and women, to put her plan together. But women were at the forefront, and she says that's no coincidence.
Although the women of the Senate span the ideological spectrum, we certainly don't think alike. We do share an interest in problem solving, and we tend to be more collaborative in our approach than many of our male colleagues.
Fellow Republicans Lisa Murkowski and Kelly Ayotte were among the first to sign on. Ayotte says to expect more women taking the lead in the future.
We have 20 women in the Senate now. That's a historic number. We can have many more, but we're not shy. We're stepping up. We're going to lead.
Democrats like Heidi Heitkamp, Amy Klobuchar, and Jeanne Shaheen also got on board.
We trust each other, and I think that's very important when you get to this kind of a delicate negotiation.
And Collins spent all weekend phoning and emailing with Democrat Patty Murray to craft budget language. Women members have a history of coming together on the softball field as well.
And last year's MVP, Kirsten Gillibrand, the pitcher extraordinaire.
Facing off against the press in a yearly fundraiser. And Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz says when it comes to negotiating, they bring something different to the table.
Women are not as focused on obliterating the other side. They want to find a way to get to yes.
Collins says Senate women have forged close relationships over the years through monthly bipartisan dinners, bonds that can be key.
There is a sisterhood here that transcends party lines, and I think in this case has helped us to produce some results.
Wow, all 20 women senators are invited to those monthly dinners, and Collins says there's usually 15 women present at any given time. They've been holding those monthly dinners since 1997. Keep it up, ladies. It's 6:17. Coming up this morning, Elise Kunkel is joining us in the studio with some fun Halloween treats that you can make with your kids. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. It's now 6:20.
That's right, and we're still seeing cool temperatures out there, but I got to tell you, when we start talking about October, this time of the year, I just get looking at all this food and it just gets me all excited.
I know. This is the time of year where we're all planning for maybe a Halloween party or something fun to do with the kids. And we know that working with the kids in the kitchen can be a lot of fun and inexpensive too, really. And this morning, Elise Kunkel joins us from Martin Supermarkets with a look at some spooky sweets. I got to tell you, when you come on every year, I always try something that you make, and it's always a hit at any of the parties that I'm making for. So what do we have here?
Well, we have lots of goodies. I went a little overboard today.
I love it.
First of all, we have our Franken Crispy Rice Krispie treats.
So cute.
Very simple, just Rice Krispies that I dyed green.
How did you dye them green?
Just food coloring.
Okay.
When you do the butter and the marshmallows, added at that time.
Couple drops.
And then I stuck a pretzel twist into the bottom.
Oh, okay. That gives it the Frankenstein bars at the top. Okay, these are too cute. What are we talking about here? We've got a chocolate cupcake.
It's a chocolate cupcake, and then I took my pastry bag and did a bunch of buttercream icing on top.
All right, so it's a big glob of icing.
Yep. Chocolate wafers you can find with our ice cream supplies.
That makes the rim of the cap.
Yep. And then I used Martin's brownies, for our mini brownies from our bake shop.
So cute.
And then M&Ms, a little bit of licorice, all sorts.
And then use the teeth?
Marshmallows or white jelly beans.
Oh.
Depending on what you got.
So clever.
Yeah.
And you can imagine how cute that's going to look on your table. And what do we have here for the middle?
This is our Witch's Cauldron, and gotta do something healthy. I thought this presentation was so fun. It's meant to look like flames and our logs with a Witch's Cauldron on top. So you can use any kind of dip you'd like. I rounded out one of Martin's Bake Shop breads, and we love their ranch dip in the deli.
Come on, David, you gotta try this.
Okay.
Jump
you
right
talked
in.
me into it.
One of my favorites, though, when I am making a party, my kids love it, is the Black Swamp Punch. You've made it with a twist this year.
I did. This is a healthy twist. Chia seeds is something that is newer to the market, and it's something that you can mix with a liquid, and it really thickens up. So this is my Swamp Punch with frog eggs, and the chia seeds are frog eggs. So overnight, I did a couple of tablespoons into 1 cup of limeade, and then shake it up really good, and it makes almost like a little bit thinner than a Jell-O. And then I dyed it, and I added some Swedish fish.
Oh, that's an interesting. I would have never thought adding the Swedish fish would be that perfect touch to.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I really like it.
Good.
All right, and what do we have here? This is a healthy.
Yeah, I did another healthy one. These are my orange jack-o'-lanterns. My daughter was really excited about these.
Cute.
She's obsessed with pumpkins right now. And I just took a spoon and hollowed out the middle. You don't have to leave, you can leave a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I've got cloves for my eyes, and then almond slivers for my teeth, and just filled it up with some grapes or brains, depending on how you look at it.
Grapes, brains, I get it. Coming up on the 26th, you have a special event. Tell us about that.
We do. We have our pumpkin decorating event in our produce department. We just did our caramel apple gala last week, had a gazillion people out. Thanks to everybody who came out and dipped caramel apples with us. So we're doing it again. We're doing pumpkin decorating. Kids can pick out their own pie pumpkin. It's $3 per pumpkin and decorate. We have feathers, we have paint, we have pom-poms, glitter, anything you need.
We're going to bling out these pumpkins, right? All right, well, we're going to put more information on that on our website, WNDU.com, and the recipes too, right?
That's right, and keep in mind this is at all locations, all Martin's locations, not just one single one.
Exactly.
It will be in your area.
All right, we have much more ahead here on 16 Morning News. Check out all the details, step-by-step instructions coming up on our website, WNDU.com. We'll be back in just a moment. Coming up, a driver fleeing from police is actually hit by a train twice, but she survived. We have the amazing dash cam video.
Plus, I'll have your Storm Team 16 forecast when we return as well.
It's 6:28, and we continue to follow breaking news at this hour. Police are at the scene of a possible armed home invasion at Park Jefferson Apartments on Jefferson Boulevard in South Bend. We have learned that fortunately no one was injured. We do have a crew at the scene speaking with officers right now, and we'll bring you a live report in just a little bit. New this morning, a Utah woman is lucky to be alive after her car was hit by 2 trains, and it was all caught on tape. Officers say the 29-year-old woman did not pull over for police, which led to a brief chase. And you're watching it here in this dash cam video. The woman's car collided with a train as she was crossing the train tracks. Officers are trying to get the woman out of her car when the second train smashed into her vehicle. Wow. While the vehicle sustained heavy damage, the woman walked away with only a broken arm. She faces charges of evading arrest, but additional charges are possible pending an investigation. Incredible. Well, new this morning, Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam is reopening the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. All national parks and monuments were closed by the government shutdown over 2 weeks ago, but some states have made a deal with the government to reopen their parks at their own expense. Haslam says the park will reopen today, but just through Sunday, October 20th, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is one of the most visited national parks in the nation. And can you imagine the fall colors right now? Wow. Meantime, the Grand Canyon was reopened to tourists last weekend thanks to state and private donations, but it will only last until Saturday unless the shutdown ends or Arizona's governor extends the agreement. New this morning, could some of us be more genetically wired to handle a marriage? Scientists have linked a single gene mutation to a person's ability to emotionally handle both the good and bad times in a marriage. Now, the gene in question affects serotonin, a chemical in the brain that affects mood and well-being. The study of 125 spouses found men and women with a particular variation of this gene were more likely to be affected by positive and negative emotions in a marriage. These genetic influences became stronger with age, but experts add that the genes only have a very small effect and can't help predict the success of your future nuptials. It's all in the genes. Well, should parents be using technology to keep tabs on their children? Well, these days a number of apps are doing just that, including the Be Safe smartphone app that helps parents keep track of their kids. Bob Hansen shows us.
I'm going to take one more.
They may be young, but in a few years, these kids will be asking for smartphones. And that's not something these parents like to think about.
They're able to connect with more people without you knowing, and that's scary.
And since phones will end up in younger and younger hands, developers are looking for ways to keep parents happy. It's a loud noise for a problem that's getting our attention. Be Safe, a smartphone app that helps parents track their kids. Think of it as high-tech peace of mind.
They have an SOS alarm. They have a follow me service where they can ask mom and dad to walk them somewhere, for example, home from school. They can check in and let the parents know where they are.
Be Safe is a growing startup getting a lot of attention from the security business, which in this era of mobile devices in everyone's hands is getting more important by the day.
So if your child is downloading a new app, or if a new person enters into your child's network, you know this, and you can actually see what app they're downloaded. You have the ability to block the app.
There's some concerns about trust with your kids if you're doing that, but on the other hand, there are safety issues as well.
Stephen Cobb is chief security researcher with ESET. He says more and more parents are looking for ways to keep track of their kids' online activities.
Yes, I think a lot of parents are now getting more savvy about monitoring what their kids are doing on the internet, whether it's from a laptop or from a smartphone, but they need to keep in touch.
To help you better track your children and make sure they're safe and using their phone appropriately.
You can understand why a parent would like to know where their children are, but it takes more than an app to keep a child safe.
Use it as a tool in your overall child safety program, but don't rely upon it.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. I mean, this could just be another crutch that we get used to, and then we kind of get complacent to understanding the need to keep an eye on your kids. Lots of kids are getting them younger and younger, these smartphones, and can't just rely on that to take care of your kids.
Not at all. And I found it shocking that 78% of those teens actually have phones. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I waited a little bit with both of my daughters. That's according to the Pew Research Center, by the way. And we have their full Teens in Technology 2000 report on our website. You can just go there and click on the big red bar. Interesting to see these stats. Younger and younger kids getting those smartphones. So it is something to consider for sure.
Yeah, and something else to consider today would be the umbrella. It's certainly something we'll have to keep with us the rest of the week as lake effect rain showers are still with us. Now we have some clearing skies outside. That's allowed temperatures to dip in some areas. Michigan City coming in at 43, same in Walkerton, South Bend currently at 47. The further east you go, the warmer the temperatures get, but really not by that much.
All right, it's 6:33 now. We are on the scene of breaking news this morning. A possible armed home invasion at the Park Jefferson Apartments in Elkhart. We get right out there to Christine Karsten. She is on the scene. Christine, what do we know right now?
Tricia, we just received a lot of information, so you're going to have to bear with me as I read this off, but not one possible home invasion, two. They're looking into two right now. Now, 3 suspects are on the loose that they believe with this. Now, this all happened around 4 a.m. You're looking at it, that apartment right there. It happened all right here around 4 a.m. in the upstairs apartment. They believe a home invasion by 3 males allegedly carrying weapons. Now, I got to tell you, there were 3 juveniles inside, 1 infant, 2 adults. At that time, those 3 suspects were inside. One of them took the 1 adult and 1 infant to another location, to 1614 South Nash in South Bend, where they did another home invasion. Police are on that scene right now, also investigating. They left that 1 robber inside with the family. Luckily, when they got to the place, they didn't find, I guess, what they were looking for. They let the woman and her infant go, where police then say they picked her up and brought her back here. That's when she called them saying all this was happening. They brought out the SWAT team. They had negotiators out here. The chief was out here, multiple officers, as you can still see, on the scene investigating. Luckily, we're told nobody was injured, but those police got involved. They got the call around 4:22. They're telling me right now, again, allegedly, that these 3 men did have guns, so they're looking for them still on the loose. They didn't find them, so 3 suspects, possibly gunmen, they're looking for right now. They are at both scenes looking to see what they can find. Again, just luckily nobody was injured here. An interesting story that we're going to have to follow to see, obviously, a home invasion here and then a home invasion on the other side of town. Again, police still out here looking at the scene, finding anything they can. As soon as we get more information, we'll bring it to you. Tricia, back to you.
Frightening morning for that woman and child. Thanks a lot. Christine Karsten reporting live from South Bend. I want to be clear, this again unfolding at Park Jefferson Apartments in South Bend. Earlier I said Elkhart. It is South Bend. Thank you so much, Christine. It is 6:36. An update now to breaking news from overnight. A bystander pulled an elderly man from a house fire late last night, and that action just may have saved his life. The home caught fire just before midnight near the intersection of Lear and Dubail. It will take some time to determine what caused it, but we do know that it started in an upstairs room. Firemen are applauding the people who pulled the victim out of the burning home.
When we arrived on scene, the victim was laying out in the front yard, apparently pulled out by a bystander. There's heavy fire coming out of the 2nd floor window on the front of the house, and we had to go up on the roof just to tear away some of the roofing to make sure it didn't extend.
The man was taken to the hospital with injuries. We don't know yet just how severe. Meantime, a fire broke out early this morning at the South Bend Business Complex in the 3700 block of West Sample Street. A cause is unknown. We do know that the sprinklers inside went off, and that alerted firefighters. They had to close down Sample from Sheridan to Falcon while they were on the scene. So far, authorities have not said which businesses were affected. Now, the ratings agency Fitch warns that U.S. bonds may be downgraded in the very near future as lawmakers struggle to come up with a plan to raise the debt ceiling. The federal government is expected to hit its limit on borrowing tomorrow. Senate leaders have said they are close to a deal, but they haven't reached one yet. Yesterday, a counter-proposal from House Republicans was scrapped as House Speaker John Boehner struggled to come up with enough votes. Instead, some Republicans expect Boehner to expedite the Senate's plan. Some Republicans argue raising the debt ceiling without budget cuts simply kicks the can down the road.
We don't have a lot of time, and so what I'm suggesting to the congressional leaders is let's not do any posturing. Let's not try to save face.
The president has said the compromise will likely have bigger budget cuts than Democrats would prefer. Benton Harbor is gearing up to become free from a state-appointed emergency financial manager. Last night, Mayor James Hightower gave the State of the City address. The mayor says he chose to give his speech unusually late in the year to prepare for the city's upcoming independence in 2014. In 3 months, the EFM will step aside and the City Commission will resume control.
We have the power to create the future. Decisions determine destiny. Decisions that we make today ultimately shape our future. We have to make right decisions. And we have to make those decisions based on having the right heart.
Starting next year, the state will appoint a transition board that will be allowed to approve any actions made by the City Commission. We could see rain later today. Meteorologist David Harker joins us now with a check of weather. Cool temperatures, too.
Yeah, and it really depends on where you are, Tricia. Most of those clear skies allowing the temperatures to dip, especially in the western portion of the state. The breezy conditions will be with us as well. Northerly wind bringing in all that cold air from Canada. Be prepared as well for more of these conditions to be favored in the upcoming days. Take a look at the forecast for the rest of the area. At least temperature-wise, most of us still expect to see middle and upper 40-degree temperatures, turning to the middle 50s a little bit later today as well. We zoom out, take a look across the region. I want to show you the cloud cover. We have the rain showers that are off to our east, and that's all due to that cold front that pushed by yesterday. Gave us a few rain showers in some areas, really didn't amount to much more than 1/10 of an inch across most of the area. Cloud cover will eventually make its way back in after this stint of cooler weather due to the clear skies, and the clouds will actually hold us a little bit more steady temperature-wise today. You see that on your screen. There's the one cold front that's already made its way through, and the lake effect rain showers, they'll pop up right there on the screen. That will be something we'll have to contend with. Grab the umbrella as you head on out the door. A second cold front will eventually enhance the rain shower. It's not going to happen today, but it certainly will happen later in the week. Coming up on Friday is when the next chance of rain showers associated with that front will push in just in time for Friday football, but it's more of an isolated chance of a rain shower. It's not necessarily the washout that all of us may think it could be. Take a look at your forecast for today. 56 degrees. Well, still cloudy. The afternoon rain showers of lake effect variety will be with us. That's why the umbrella more of a necessity today, and that's also why we're in the yellow category as well. But look at the temperature dip across Michiana going into the overnight Wednesday into Thursday. 42 degrees for a temperature. It looks like those temperatures really won't be rebounding anytime soon. The clouds will remain in the area, but not enough to allow our temperatures to hold steady in the overnight hours. Not warming up much throughout the daytime Thursday. We'll add in another chance of lake effect rain showers. That's all because that wind moving over Lake Michigan from the west and providing us with the precipitation. A green day on Friday, a mix of sun and clouds. We're going to call 40 degrees going into the overnight hours Friday into Saturday. We will be rain free for the most part on Friday. I'm not going to rule out an isolated rain shower or two. Saturday into the weekend, it just doesn't look too much better when we talk about the availability to see a lot of dry conditions. Still a slight chance of an isolated shower on the day Saturday. Sunday, we may be okay. 52 degrees for a temperature after yet again another cold front. They seem to come one right after another. Kind of like dominoes. They kind of just knock us back down, and we're not expecting to see any fall-like 60s anytime soon.
Well, tonight is Girls' Night Out, indoor activity for all sorts of friends and family members that are going out tonight for Girls' Night Out. Lots of great health screenings for women, and you want to check that out downtown South Bend Memorial Hospital. So a good time. And again, indoors, so you don't have to worry about it.
They'll have to dodge a rain shower. That's good news.
It is good news. Well, now we send it over to Kate Chappell with a look at this morning's City by City report. Kate?
In Stevensville, Lakeshore has made an offer to a new superintendent. Philip Freeman is the current assistant superintendent at Plymouth Canton Community Schools. and the job is his if he wants it. He would replace Cynthia Vujea, who stepped down in April. Meantime, over in Elkhart, environmental contamination was found at the old Walter Piano building off Beardsley. According to our partners at the Elkhart Truth, the ground was tested during a rehab project at the old site. That's as crews prepare it to be sold and redeveloped. The contamination was from a common industrial degreaser. They plan to remove and replace the soil. Then over in Buchanan, a recycling event will help you clear the clutter in your home. Now's the time to gather your items so you can drop them off on Saturday at the Southeast Berrien County Landfill Recycle Center. That's on Chamberlain Road. Electronics, medical waste, cleaning chemicals, and pesticides will all be accepted. That's your City by City report this morning. Tricia, back to you.
All right, it makes me want to clean out my closets and get some stuff out of the house. Well, coming up this morning, why your snoring could mean big medical problems. We're going to tell you what to look out for and some solutions from a local professional for sleep apnea.
Take a look at your day planner throughout the rest of today. Expects more cloud cover, really not warming the temperatures up much. We also have a lake effect rain shower in the forecast for parts of Michigan, especially closer to the lake shore, middle 50s for high temperatures. It's not necessarily the rain that will have to give problems on the roadways, but it's more the orange barrels. We move to your traffic report. It is brought to you by our friends at 95.3 Michiana's news channel. Traffic is restricted on Grandview and South Bend. They're fixing a water line between Linden and Kankakee, and that should be finished by Friday. And in Elkhart, Indiana Avenue, it's closed east of State Road 19 until the end of November.
It's now 6:47. We are halfway through the work week. So how you been sleeping? Well, this morning we continue our coverage of 16 Sleep Week by talking about the medical conditions that can affect people of all ages. Inadequate sleep can mean more than just feeling tired. Kate Chappell joins us now with some important details. We've been talking about sleep apnea today, and earlier we discussed how it can be found in kids.
Right.
But it's an even bigger issue for adults.
Well, exactly. Really, it's a medical condition that requires help from a doctor and a sleep specialist. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine says sleeping well is the first step to living well. There are many treatment options out there for most sleep problems, but the first step is recognizing that a problem exists.
They actually say there are more people who haven't been diagnosed yet than have been diagnosed. It's a fairly new field of medicine.
The National Sleep Foundation says at least 18 million Americans suffer from sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea is a closure of the airway while you're sleeping. And usually people who snore, you'll notice there would be a big comeback snore where they go, that's usually them taking a breath again.
But millions of others have issues just falling and staying asleep. So how do you know if it's an actual disorder?
Morning headaches are a big sign, daytime sleepiness, daytime fatigue. If you wake up and you're not feeling refreshed, if you get tired a lot during the day, sometimes just memory issues. A lot of people don't realize they don't completely wake up, but the sleep apnea keeps them from going into deep sleep. So they kind of stay in a low level sleep the whole night. So they're not getting that slow wave and REM sleep that refreshes the brain.
Sleep apnea can cause more than discomfort or feeling tired. Disorders like it can actually have quite a few effects on the body, including
death, heart problems, stroke. The normal oxygen is 90 to 100%. We see patients that drop down to 40% during that period where they quit breathing. So that means that only 40% of the blood that's going to the brain and the heart and the other organs is oxygenated.
So if you're having serious problems at night, what should you do next?
You should talk to your physician and determine whether you need a sleep study. Once your physician orders a sleep study, they just call over, we get you scheduled. They come in about 7:30 in the evening. We try to get everybody out of here before 7 in the morning. It's about an hour hookup because there's quite a few wires, and we measure so we can see the brain waves when they sleep. We measure breathing, oxygen levels, any leg movements that would occur during the night.
And what happens after the sleep study?
The most common treatment is CPAP, which is continuous positive airway pressure. It's a mask that hooks up to a machine. It's a flow of air that keeps the airway from closing off. So it works as a splint on the airway.
If you're wondering about cost for CPAP machines or a sleep study, just check with your insurance provider to learn more about what they cover. You should also, of course, talk to your doctor first to see if a sleep study could be the answer for your problems. Big signs those sleep labs look for. Tim there told me it's weight, snoring, and the thicker necks. We did ask you to send in your biggest sleep questions by email. Here's what Scott from Elkhart wants to know. I have a breathing machine, but I got it years ago. Are there options to trade in my old machine for a newer, less intrusive model? I also get head cold congestion from my CPAP machine. Is there any way to alleviate those symptoms? Tim Dickey, the supervisor at the Memorial Sleep Disorder Center, who you saw in that video there, he says most CPAP machines last for years, so you shouldn't need a replacement. But if you do, most insurances will pay for a new mask every 3 to 6 months. We also offer a CPAP clinic where patients can come in and try as many masks as they like for free. We let them take them home for a few weeks. In regards to the congestion, Dickey said most patients complaining of congestion don't have the heater humidifier set at the correct setting. For me, I never have a problem, but in the winter I do have to turn up my CPAP from a setting of 3 to 5.
This is so important. How many wives are nudging their husbands right now saying you need a sleep study? Men are stubborn when it comes to going to the doctor. We just hope that this discussion, though, is happening within families.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people might be nervous or worried that it's going to take a lot out of their schedule to actually go into those facilities. The wires do look a little scary, I'll be honest, but they tell me it's a breeze. You're there. They have it a home-like setting. You saw at the end of the video there. It's actually like a hotel room in there. A bed, your own bathroom. And so they do try and make it easy on you. You're out in time for work the next day.
Good idea.
Really, it's a necessity.
It is so important. All right, thanks a lot, Kate. Well, we are going to be checking back in live with Christine Karsten on breaking news of 2 alleged home invasions. Stay tuned. The time now 6:54. We continue to follow breaking news this morning. An investigation into 2 now confirmed home invasions in South Bend, and 3 suspects are on the loose. Christine Karsten joins us after talking to Captain Phil Trent. She joins us with details from the scene.
Yeah, Tricia, we're told, obviously, as you just mentioned, 2 for sure home invasions. Now, we are also told that they did have guns. That is confirmed today, just a few seconds ago. Now, we also wanted to point out that they said that this isn't a random act, so people living in this apartment complex may not have to worry. They don't believe to be random. They also said they don't believe that the potential suspects are in this complex as of right now. Now, we are also told that they did take the victim's purple Chevy Equinox to escape from this scene. So they are also looking into that right now. But just to recap for you now, this all happened around 4 a.m. at Park Jefferson Apartments. You're looking at the apartment that this all happened in right now. They're looking for 3 suspects. We're told there was a home invasion here by 3 males who now we did confirm had weapons on them. They're inside. There were 3 juveniles, 1 infant, and 2 adults. After that, those robbers took 1 adult and a juvenile the infant to another location where they had another home invasion. And then police were called. The SWAT team was here. The chief was on the scene, and police still on scene right now investigating both of those, looking in, getting as much evidence as they can. But as we told you, this is ongoing. They're continuing to look into this. But obviously a very scary situation for this family. But luckily, no one was injured. Tricia, we're going to send it back to you now.
All right, thanks a lot. Christine Karsten reporting live. I can only imagine there's an all-out call to look for that purple Equinox in the South Bend area. We'll, of course, have more information right here and online at WNDU.com.
And we'll continue to watch for those chances of rain showers a little bit later today, but we're out of time for now. We'll be with you a little bit later today as well. The 25 and 55s past the hour. All the stories on WNDU.com.
The Today Show is next.